Welcome to the 12th video in the Getting Started with Analyst Notebook series. In this video, we'll look at the Publish toolbar in the ribbon menu of Analyst Notebook. The Publish toolbar is divided into 5 sections. Prepare for getting the chart ready for publication. Redact and purge for removing sensitive information. Snapshots for saving different views of the chart. Reports and save as picture to capture the contents of a chart. And print for configuring and outputting the final chart. For this video, we'll use the social network analysis chart, as well as the records of mail convictions in Crownsville and the association and timeline example charts. The example charts can be found using the example charts shortcut. The location and installation of the example charts was covered in detail in the Getting Started example materials video. We will start by looking at the spelling tool. For this demonstration, we've added an extra entity to the chart in order to demonstrate the use of the spell check tool. As this entity was selected, the spell check will check it first. The spell check tool will suggest alternatives to the misspelled words, allowing us to choose the correct replacement. Once the selected items on the chart have been checked, the spell check will optionally move on to check the rest of the chart. We will now move on to the Legend tool, which allows you to create a legend panel detailing the contents of the chart. If the legend is currently empty, Analyst Notebook will offer to populate it based on the contents of the chart. Any elements of the legend that are not required can be removed, and entries can be reordered if required. Additional elements may also be added. Here we will add an icon frame and description to the legend. In the Properties section, we can control the shape and positioning of the legend on the chart. Once the legend is completed, it is added to the chart. Let's use Fit to Windows to show the legend as well as the chart. We will now use the Records of Mail Convictions chart to look at the Redact and Purge section of the toolbar. Chart items that come from other data sources, such as iBase, may have data records. If you're sharing charts with other organizations, you may not wish to share this information. If we look at Michael Murphy's properties, we can see it contains an iBase data record with additional information about this item. If we select some records and use the Purge Data Records tool, it will remove the data records from the selected items. Let's view Michael again. We can see the data records are no longer present. Yet if we view another chart item, we can see the data records are still populated. We could use Purge All Data Records to clear all data records from all items on the chart if required. If we want to share a chart without data records or other sensitive information, but wish to maintain it for our own use, we can use the Save Redacted Copy tool to create a redacted version of the chart. This tool allows us to control which information is stripped from the chart. We could choose to remove information based on its data source. Here we have configured it to remove the data records from the Force B data source. We could also choose to strip out entire records based on a specific attribute. In this case, any records with the nationality attribute of American. After setting the options, clicking OK will save a copy of the chart with the redactions based on the settings. In the new version of the chart, the records with the specified attributes have been removed. If we view the records for the selected data source, we can see that the data records have also been removed. We will now return to the Social Network Analysis chart to look at the Snapshots tool. To begin with, let's snapshot the chart as it is currently. Then we will rearrange the chart a few times using the Layout tool and create a snapshot each time. We can now use the Next and Previous Snapshots tool to toggle through each of the saved snapshots. The Reports tool produces a configurable text-based report on the content of the chart. Let's run the full report to start with. By default, the report is run and the results written to the clipboard. We can run the Windows Notepad and paste the report in to view the content. In the report, we can see all the items and properties of the chart. You can configure your own report or use existing reports as a basis for a new report. Let's duplicate an existing report and modify it. Let's provide it with a new name and choose to output to a file rather than to the clipboard. We can customize what is included in the report. Let's just include icons and links in this new report. Format configures the layout of the report. We can choose to add additional information to the report. Here we choose to include an additional tab spacer, as well as the item's semantic type. When we run the report, we will be prompted to create a file for the report content. Here is our final report with the content we configured in the specifications. Any changes to report specifications will be saved when the report tool is closed. Now let's move on to Save as Picture. Save as Picture creates a picture file for the current chart. There are two options. Current View saves the chart image as currently displayed, whereas Entire Chart includes the entire chart area in the picture, regardless of how it is currently displayed. We will now move to the Association and Timeline chart to look at the Print section of the toolbar. Clicking the Page Setup tool shows the current page borders on the chart and lets you set up the page layout. Let's change the orientation to Portrait and change the border setup to show a reference grid. The Page Boundaries tool allows you to toggle on and off the outline of the page on the chart. As we can see, our chart doesn't fit very well into the page at the moment. The Fit to One Page tool will resize the chart so it fits completely onto a single page. Best Fit will rearrange the pages and chart size to maximize the size of the chart on each page. The Print Layout tool optimizes the chart to move items away from the page boundaries. Once the page layout is complete, the chart can be printed from the Print tool, or alternatively be used to create a PDF file. The Printed PDF tool has optional security settings which can be used to secure the PDF file by the use of passwords. Once the PDF has been created, we can view it to see how our chart has been laid out across the 3 pages. So in summary, we've taken a look at the Publish toolbar, using the Prepare section to check spellings and add a legend, the Redact and Purge tools to remove sensitive information when sharing charts, snapshots for saving different views of the chart. We've used reports and pictures to capture the content of the chart, and finally used the printing options to set up the page layout and to print or create a PDF of the final chart. Thank you very much for watching these videos. We hope they've been helpful.